Wow, buckle up, Buttercup. This is going to be an intense podcast. So, as you can see, France is preparing their nation. They're handing out guides for a potential nuclear war. Yeah, and it's not just France. Several nations in Europe have been handing out these pamphlets in preparation for war. Yeah, it's pretty intense. We've got France, Sweden, Denmark. This is Yahoo News. The European countries preparing their citizens for possible emergencies in the shadow of Russia's war with Ukraine. Some European countries have offered advice on how to prepare for conflict and other emergencies. Politico, Russia could start a major war in Europe within 5 years, Danish intelligence warns. We've got a lot of notes, a lot to talk about. Be prepared, not scared. This is just the latest news. I certainly wouldn't bring in my tomato plants yet, so I don't think you need to go hide out in the bunker yet, but they're building them. So before we get started, check out our Patreon page. We have exclusive intel on our Patreon page. Check us out. Hundreds of hours of exclusive content on Patreon. Just click the link or go to Patreon, type in Leak Project, be a member. It's like $5. You'll have hundreds of hours of content. It's definitely worth the $5. And if you want to block harmful EMF radiation, and if you want to put your phone in a Faraday cage where like nobody can listen or track it, and you have no EMF radiation coming in or out of the Faraday cage, check out tinfoilcap.co, the ultimate and the original EMF blocking gear from head to toe. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? So this is wild. I was going through the news, scrolling through the news, and I see this article about how France is sending out pamphlets in preparation for war, amongst other things. And I was like, wait a second. I just talked to somebody on Facebook that lives in Italy that has a friend that lives in Sweden, and they're handing out pamphlets in Sweden. And then I find out information about Denmark and other nations that are saying, hey, get ready. It's going to get intense. So this is it. Check it out. All right. Catherine's in the chat. David, Count Trumpula, Mark. Good to see you all. Geo, Victor, Melody. Awesome. So cool. So a 40-page civil defense manual managing in a major crisis covers preparation for war, cyber attacks, terrorism, natural disasters. It advises creating emergency kits, recognizing alarms, and evacuation planning. The guide was developed by the Interministerial Crisis Management Center. And then Sweden, defense officials warn war could come to Sweden. Civil defense minister urges all citizens to understand their roles in a crisis. Reintroduced public preparedness campaigns and civil defense education. Distributed if crisis or war comes. Guide to the public. Finland, they joined NATO in 2023, promotes Cold War era preparedness culture, mandatory military service. Finland is also allegedly the happiest nation in the world. They encourage citizens to stockpile essentials and stay informed on threats. Then Denmark, the defense chief warns conflict could arise within 3 to 5 years. Defense minister emphasizes seriousness of new security environment. The government planning civil defense education and readiness campaigns. Estonia, high alert due to proximity to Russia. Crisis planning documents shared nationwide. Focus on cyber defense, public alert systems, digital resilience. Latvia launched the Sargi Sevi Protect Yourself digital preparedness platform, provides emergency checklists, shelter maps, and crisis instructions, emphasizes civilian involvement in national defense. Then we've got Lithuania, distributed physical survival guides, prepared to survive emergencies and war, includes invasion protocols, shelter information, civil resilience tactics. Norway, citizens advised to maintain a 72-hour emergency kit. Increased Arctic military presence due to tensions with Russia. Focus on hybrid threat response and civil defense drills. Germany, Defense Minister Boris Pistorius, war in Europe is now a real possibility. Civil defense modernization includes reviving bomb shelters, updating emergency warning systems, public awareness initiatives. The United Kingdom, government reviewing. I'm getting so excited here, I can't even say reviewing. I'm like, reviving, review. So the government is reviewing national civil defense plans. Resilience minister confirms updated emergency readiness is underway, focus on a range of threats, including war and large-scale disasters. So NATO, one of the largest drills in years, NATO Operation Vigilant Shield, Poland, Lithuania, the Baltic Sea region, over 45,000 troops, cyber units, F-35 squadrons, artillery. This is ongoing. This started March 10th. It's going to be going on until the 28th, they say. And this is the first time full NATO participation by Sweden and Finland. They're focusing on hybrid warfare, cyber attacks, rapid joint deployment. So Russia says, hey, Kremlin labeled NATO drills as a why am I not? I got to drink some kombucha. Provocation. Have you ever been to Provo, Utah? It's like provocation. So they moved the Iskander missile systems closer to Kaliningrad. They ordered military mirror drills, heightened Western military district alert, increased disinformation campaigns and cyber attacks on NATO allies, and surveillance flights intensified near NATO airspace. Was it earlier this month or last month that China was basically they were circling the coast of, or off the coast of Australia? So 12 of 32 NATO members meet the 2% GDP defense spending goal. That's what President Trump was talking about recently, that these nations that are part of NATO need to meet their obligation of 2% GDP. The U.S. contributes over 70% of NATO's total defense funding. Trump warned he would let Russia act freely against underfunding NATO states. Bipartisan push in Congress for the Defend Act to prevent U.S. NATO exit, and Pentagon planning for strategic autonomous scenarios in case of U.S. withdrawal. And we talked about that the other day. Like, what would happen if the U.S. left NATO? Who's going to pick up the pace? Who's going to pick up the pieces? Who's going to take responsibility? UK talked a little bit about it. France has been talking about it. Then there's this ceasefire, or there's supposed to be a ceasefire. There's talks of a ceasefire. And now we've got this Ukraine-Russia ceasefire breakdown. So Ukraine struck Russian radar and fuel depots during a proposed ceasefire. Notice the word proposed there. Ukraine claimed strikes were preemptive due to intelligence of imminent attacks. Russia accused Kyiv of sabotaging peace talks. The ceasefire terms was a 72-hour halt, humanitarian corridors, demilitarized buffer zones. The OSCE monitors and Geneva follow-up talks planned. NATO and UN expressed concern, urged restraint and verification. And it's not just Ukraine. So there are power outages that are taking place and have been taking place over the past several months that seem to be more than just an accident or a natural disaster. Yes, we've had hurricanes and major disasters that have caused flooding and power outages, like the Philippines and a typhoon. And also South Africa's been dealing with ongoing power outages, rolling power outages because of the grid. But just a few weeks, not even a few weeks ago, maybe even a couple weeks ago, recently, Panama loses power, the entire nation. Chile lost power recently. Remember Zero Day, Netflix miniseries? Watch that series. It's great series. Well, anyway, the time that Panama loses power, around that time, BlackRock, according to the news, put together a deal to purchase their ports. Shortly after that deal is made public, Panama loses power. What was that about? So we've got South Africa, Brazil. A cyber attack in November caused a blackout, 60 million impacted. Heat wave grid overload, 2 million people lost power in Texas. That's not too uncommon. Ice storm blackouts, stuff like that in Canada. Yeah, that happens. But this was the one that was really interesting. The Panama power outage, February. The official story is maintenance failure triggered national outage. Well, there was a fire that took place that affected the whole nation. Chile, January, fault at central transmission node. Central and southern regions lost power up to 12 hours. Venezuela, March and September of 2024. So there's been a lot that's taken place recently in reference to national power outages. We've been dealing with extreme weather. We've been dealing with extreme politics. The world's pretty extreme right now. And I find it very, very interesting that they are handing out all of these pamphlets in Europe. I have some theories about what would happen if we do leave NATO. I'm going to share more of that over on our Patreon page. So I wanted to give this information to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell for all notifications. Have a beautiful day and be the change you want to see, everybody.